Okay, Oscar fans, we've heard from the nominators of the SAG Awards, the Golden Globes, the Critics' Choice. We've heard from the New York and the LA Film Critics. Where does this Oscar race for Best Picture and Director stand? Well, I have two people who have double credentials about possibly knowing, and they are Gold Derby editors Susan Wloszczyna and Joyce Eng, both who are also experts at Gold Derby. And I'm going to throw this list out there to you folks. Here's my list of the 6 films I think can win Best Picture. I think there is a path for these movies. A Star is Born, Roma, Green Book, The Favorite, Black Panther, and BlacKkKlansman. Susan, edit my list. You're an editor.
It's not a bad list.
But is it a correct list is what I want to know.
I don't know, but I think I would put Vice in there somewhere.
No, it's not aspirational, and I know you love it. Joyce, let's just do this one by one. Vice, could it win or not?
Under the old system, maybe it was just 5, but I think it'll be too hard on a preferential ballot. It's too polarizing. Like, reviews haven't been out yet, but if you just look at, people's tweets on Twitter, there's people who love it and are obsessed with it, and then there's people who loathe it. So I feel like it's going to be very divisive. It's going to be priority viewing for people, but I think it's going to be too divisive, kind of like Three Billboards.
Just by its nature, by the fact that it does its job so well. We're not talking about the quality of the movie. The movie's outstanding, as the original reviews will say, and as Susan believes. But you keep going, Susan.
Oh, I think Christian Bale and Viggo, are up there with actor too. So I think I'm not so sure about BlacKkKlansman and Roma as well, because we'll get to the director, but I do think Alfonso might get it for that. But because it'll probably be in foreign language, I mean, I don't think any foreign language film has won Best Picture ever, right?
No.
So that would be a thing.
It would.
Yes.
I think Roma just has a hard path once the industry awards starts, because there's a chance it won't have like a big moment on TV, because it wasn't eligible to be nominated for the Drama Globe. So the biggest prize it could win is director and foreign language. And then PGA is not televised, but I feel like that is like a Black Panther win, just because it's a big populist movie.
Yeah.
And it was snubbed completely at SAG, so it's not winning ensemble or anything there.
But it didn't have this marquee stat.
Right, but if it's sometimes they nominate like beats of no nation, like no name like cast members in there. But so like it could win Critics' Choice, but like that might be its biggest one. But Critics' Choice, sometimes they just want to predict the Oscars most of the time. They're the quote.
They got Shape of Water right last year. They got Spotlight right too. They got
it's like that might be its only like biggest like televised win going into the Oscars.
I believe that Roma is also it can win, but it faces more obstacles than I think most of our Oscarologist peers would like. Susan, let's back up to KKK. It's overperforming at all the awards, and it overperformed at the Globes. And I think my personal prediction is Spike Lee wins director at the Globes, and that I could even see him winning at the DGA. That said, I could see Critics' Choice going to Black Panther, even though it has a separate action movie category. And I could see, as Joyce just said, Black Panther winning at PGA. And my question to you then has to do with this idea of a race. What wins these next industry awards and then gets the momentum to keep going?
Well, I think Joyce and I both have A Star is Born up there. And all I know is every time Joyce writes Bradley and Lady Gaga in a headline,
I just put them in a
audience
headline,
goes,
even if the story is not about them.
right. You trick them, you hook them, and then they'll read it looking for their names.
Those aren't Oscar voters, most of those people.
I know, but I think it's done phenomenally well for the kind of film it is.
I agree.
And it hasn't gone out, like, become like too big of a front runner yet. Like, it's managed its campaign really well and expectations.
And having the music being a huge component in doing, well, it only could do one thing at the Grammys because the album didn't come out, but I'm pretty sure they'll win some things there too. And I just think there has a bit of, there's a backlash because she borrowed some quote from Madonna about 100 people in a room, and I don't get what all that's about. But it certainly
that's just a funny meme thing with her this season because she just repeats the same story.
But if that's the best they can find to throw dirt at it, that's not too bad. So I just think it's hung in there in people's affection a really, really long time. And I'm sure it's the one movie I know if I ask somebody who doesn't go to the movies every week, what they've seen lately, that's the one they say to me. So that means something to me. Not that they're voters.
Critics' Choice. It's the most junket-friendly movie of them all, right, Joyce? The Broadcast Film Critics. I'm a member of that, and Bradley and Gaga are the.
Well, he went to Washington, and so I gotta
that's right.
give him some dues. But I don't know if he's as likely to win Best Actor, and I don't think, given the lineup, when you look at all the directors who established themselves far more than he has right now. But you don't know. I mean, they like him. I mean, they nominated him as Best Actor 3 years in a row. So,
we're going to talk about those races separately. Let's stay for Best Picture. Joyce, the favorite is overperforming everywhere, and it's everyone's kind of guilty pleasure. Can that win? I think it could win Critics' Choice. I think it could. Right now, Green Book, from what my sources tell me, is out front for Best Comedy Picture at the Globes, and but voting for the Globes is still another week away or so. And there's this kind of a mini backlash against it, however serious that is or not. I do think the Green Book faces challenges at the Oscars because it's sentimental and maybe too sentimental, like the way that La La was. Well, Joyce, pile in here.
I have the favorite in fourth right now. I think it's in there, but I think it will need to score some big wins before I move it up.
Well, I agree. But the question is, can it and will it? Could it win Critics' Choice? Could it take down Green Book at the Globes?
Yeah, like I think it could win the Globes, Critics' Choice, and it'll probably do really well at BAFTA. But it might just be too weird for some Oscar voters too. Like I love it, but
a movie about Sally Hawkins last year having sexual relations with a fish isn't weird enough winning Best Picture.
Yeah. But it's also, you have to look in the context of the field too. It's like what else is there that's maybe more palatable for people. So, and I have A Star Is Born currently, and I think what helps A Star Is Born also is whatever backlash it has gotten or will get, there are other films that have bigger backlash, like Green Book, Vice, some people just hate Vice, and Bohemian Rhapsody.
There's always one film that makes you feel smart, and I think that's the favorite. If you get that humor, if you get what they're doing on screen, you appreciate it, and it makes you feel good. Like, ooh, this is a grown-up nasty film. I like it. So, but I also think doing well at the box office. It's already made $4 million. It's only open in
it's doing really well.
Right. So the public likes it too, and maybe even more once it starts spreading more than Green Book. So we'll see. So I have it in number 2, actually.
All right, let's talk about the second place. A lot of us Oscarologists believe that's how Moonlight won Best Picture, whether La La was your first choice or not, Moonlight was your second, Shape of Water, the same kind of argument. Let's forget for a moment the question of what wins Best Picture. What is the most likely number 2 vote on the preferential Oscar Best Picture ballot? If that theory we've been pursuing for the last few years is true, what is the second most favorite and more universally respected film?
Well, I think The Favorite could definitely get in there because they already love Rachel and Emma, and Olivia is somebody who's been waiting for her moment in a movie that she not dominates, but is the central reason for existing. So I think it could very well be that.
I think it's A Star is Born, The Favorite, and BlacKkKlansman. Like, I could see those getting 2s and 3s.
See, I'm just not convinced with BlacKkKlansman, but so why are you convinced?
I think everyone's just been underestimating it this whole season, and it's hit everything it's needed to hit. And
overachieved.
Yeah.
And let's remember, this is really interesting when you look back at Gold Derby, and you can do that, by the way, with a little on your desktop machine, talking to the viewers and the listeners of the podcast. On your desktop computers, there is a time machine that appears on top of the experts and the editors and top 24 predictions. You can click back and see what our predictions were all the way through mid-August. Unfortunately, that functionality doesn't exist on mobile, but you have to do it through desktop. But if you go back and you look at that early time when we were brave enough, some of us Oscarologists, to start predicting, BlacKkKlansman was out front early, and of course it had been released earlier and had the Spike Lee overdue factor. But it took till those film festivals kicked in seriously to take down BlacKkKlansman. So it was already poised as an early, worthy contender possibility.
Well, because he's so overdue for anything besides screenplay, so nomination.
But I could see BlacKkKlansman winning Critics' Choice. I mean, this is, again, I had the race idea. Boy, it's really overperformed at the Globes. And he will win, I think, director there. I think there's the sentiment. And then Roma getting foreign film, as you said, Susan. And I don't even know if that matters. But sometimes it does. They went for 3 billboards, remember, for Best Drama Picture there. I believed it was going to repeat at the Oscars after the Moonlight example the previous year. So basically, we don't know what's going to happen here. And I kind of like this idea, but who else has thoughts about this race and director?
Oh, and director?
I think it's just Cuaron.
Right.
No, I disagree. No. Wait, Joyce, you're saying it's just Cuaron even for the Oscar?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Wrong answer.
I agree. That's 2 against 1.
Second wrong answer. What?
You don't trust us?
Well, so who do you have? Spike Lee for the Globes.
Yeah. And I think that Spike Lee will win DGA.
I mean, I could see that. I'd be very interested to see the DJ lineup. Like, I think Ryan Coogler could make that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could also happen, right?
Yeah.
But he hasn't really popped up, I don't think.
No. This Oscar year began with a discussion of how we need to recognize popular films. And it's in such an extraordinary way, they considered the fiasco idea of its own separate category for Best Picture. And I think there's this urge, and Black Panther is the first superhero movie ever nominated for Best Picture at the Globes. All the rules are off now in terms of what happens in this awards derby. The Oscars.
That's not true. Deadpool got in.
Okay, that's true. Good point.
But that was comedy.
That was comedy. Okay, for drama picture. Okay.
See, Joyce is teaching me how to retain facts.
I can't get away with anything with you two. Oh my God. I have to start telling the truth.
Well, that was the first thing I looked up once the Globes were announced. So, because I'm like, did they do this before?
I believe something I read at Gold Derby. I don't know.
Okay.
Let's keep going. Can Bradley Cooper win DGA? Can Bradley Cooper? I think he can. I think that there's so much affection for him and admiration for him in the industry. He's had several Oscar nominations. He, of course, produced American Sniper. We all underestimated that at Gold Derby. And from what I hear, Bradley Cooper has not forgiven us, nor should he have. But I don't want to make the mistake of underestimating Bradley Cooper again. Where do you if you want to honor him and you want to go Vigo or you want to go Christian Bale for actor, it's that director. And we know how absolutely crazy they are at the Oscars for actors, especially matinee actors, who turn director from Mel Gibson to Clint Eastwood to
Robert Redford.
Robert Redford and Kevin Costner.
But not Ben
He fits
Affleck.
that pattern.
But not Ben Affleck.
And not Ben Affleck.
No.
I mean, I have him in second right now. Like he just needs to.
Yeah, I have him second too.
He just needs like a big win somewhere. Like I could see the Globes giving him director. Like I think that's entirely possible. So he just needs like something to really kickstart that momentum, because right now all we have is just critics' prizes, and Alfonso's been dominating them.
I do think his performance in the film, as strong as it is, and how it summons your empathy and all that, it's weird contrast between, okay, Clint Eastwood, when he directs a movie, you can see him, taking charge and being like one of his characters, but there's poor little Bradley and his dog, and it's like, you just want to hug him, and it's like, I can't put that together with a strong director sometimes in my mind. So that's just me living in a fantasy world.
But also he was more than just director too. Of course, he was.
He was everything. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're writing A Star Is Born as the picture of the year, they have to try that somewhere. I guess he would win for producing, right? Is he? I guess.
Yeah, he's a producer. He will probably get 4 nominations, but they're not.
Song. Is he part of the song?
He didn't write any of the songs.
Oh, he didn't do it.
He didn't write Shallow. Okay. He only wrote like 2 songs, or co-wrote 2 songs, but they're not any of the 3 that they were campaigning, which then just became 1 with Shallow.
Yeah.
But they're not winning screenplay, so.
The other movies in the Gold Derby list, like If Beale Street Could Talk, are underperforming. I mean, it's an excellent movie. We saw it together, Susan and I. And it's...
I just think it's the biggest sin it has. It's not Moonlight.
Yeah.
And I think it just isn't. I mean, I think it's a fine film. It's a moving film, but it's not that unique experience that you had watching 3 people play the same character over the years. I think was genius. So, but that doesn't quite have that uniqueness to me as far as the story, unless I'm wrong.
I really enjoyed the film, and it's gorgeously shot, and I'm obsessed with the score. But I think just this year there are just other films that are louder, like not the film itself, but just like the conversations around them, and like some of them like have gone a little lost around Beale Street, and they also push back the release date, even though it's been screening at festivals since September.
So lost momentum.
Yeah, so like I feel like they should have released it earlier, and just because that's, it's a small like art house film, like that needs to like build up, that momentum to continue to talk. And like something like The Favorite, like it's also quirkier, like, and their marketing for it was also great, because
the commercials, you pick up your head when you hear it behind you even,
and then they just pick out these like hilarious lines.
Yes.
So I think like that is different compared to Beale Street, which obviously does not have that tone of The Favorite. So I think it's lost momentum in that sense. And Barry Jenkins hasn't like hit director at these places, which is unfortunate, because at Critics' Choice there were like 15 spots and he didn't make it in.
Yeah, that's what should. Let's talk about Green Book as we wrap this discussion up here. I don't really buy the backlash right now, because we have seen it perform exactly as it should at all the walk-up awards. And it is that movie that has one of the strongest rooting factors this year, that kind of Slumdog Millionaire, Chariots of Fire, Rocky, jump out of your seats and cheer. It won the National Board of Review, not that that matters, I guess, but it also won TIFF, of course. Not that matters, because that's hit and miss about 50% of the time. But it is the movie that inspired.
It came out of nowhere.
It came out of nowhere. It's a big surprise, and I'm not sure that this. What do you guys think? I think it could even win Critics' Choice Awards. I think all it needs is to pop that one place. And
I have it winning the Globe right now, just based on what you've said of.
And yeah.
It was overwhelmingly true the day the nominations came out. All the people I spoke to just said, "Oh my God, it's their #1 movie by far," and that's what they had said about to such an extent over 3 billboards, and we were smart to take that seriously at the Globes.
Mm.
What were you saying, Susan?
What? Nothing. I'm sorry.
I mean, I think like it's doing like as well as it could be right now with everything. Like it's gotten a couple of like critics mentions like in top 10 lists and stuff. I think when the backlash like first started like a month ago, I think a lot of people were expecting it to just completely bomb and not hit anywhere, and it's managed pretty well, and its box office is doing really well. I don't know why people expected it to be this like sensation the weekend it opened. It's a total word of mouth film, and it's gonna like I think it crossed like 20 million already, and it cost 25 million to make. So I think it's doing fine. Like doesn't have like big drop offs at all. So I can see I can't see it winning yet. Like I think I needed to see it, pick up some bigger awards elsewhere or more nominations elsewhere.
Well, one thing that's good for the Oscar shows, there's, the Stars is a blockbuster, and Black Panther could get in, and Mary Poppins, we'll see how that happens. Huge. Yeah. So, there are money-making vehicles here, and they didn't even need the popular film.
I know.
Yeah, all of the SAG ensemble movies, it's like blockbusters and BlacKkKlansman.
Go Bohemian Rhapsody. Don't listen to the critics. They're idiots. It's such a great movie. And like
BlacKkKlansman didn't even do badly at the box office. It just didn't cross 100 million.
Right.
I know. So basically, everybody watching and listening to this, we don't know what's happening. So you got to go to Gold Derby, and you've got to tell us what you think, because you're the real experts, as we know. Log your predictions. You can change them as often as you wish at Gold Derby. They impact our racetrack odds, which help to terrify Hollywood. And we need your help to terrify them, because we know Hollywood needs humbling, and so do we experts, and you're the one to do it. Thanks.